जीने की कोई सबसे बढ़िया जड़ी बूटी है तो जड़ी बूटी का नाम है योगा।
Yoga straddles the ancient and the modern.
It opens the window to your own self, to your own spirit, to your own soul.
Practiced by over 250 million people.
Yoga for me is life-changing.
Life-changing for some, lifestyle for others. It is today a multi-billion-dollar industry.
योगी योग करेगा ऐसा नहीं, जो योग करेगा वही योगी हो जाएगा.
And a growing global phenomenon.
It's a path of intuitive awareness.
Uniting people and nations.
Yoga has become a symbol of harmony.
June 21st, the International Day of Yoga, celebrates India's great gift to the world.
आइए हम एक अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस को आरंभ करने की दिशा में कार्य करें।
मेरे जीवन में अगर जो कुछ भी है तो मैं मानता हूँ योग एक कैटलिटिक एजेंट के रूप में बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले किया है।
This is the story of yoga. On a distant beach, 12,000 kilometers from her native Mumbai, celebrity trainer Deepika Mehta is taking yoga to the world. She is not alone. Today, yoga has moved out of the ashram and into the mainstream. It's gone global. With superstar gurus and celebrity practitioners, this ancient Indian philosophy has transformed into a multi-billion-dollar worldwide phenomenon. According to some estimates, the number of yoga practitioners around the globe are a staggering 250 million. But where and when did it all begin? Yoga's origins are unclear. Part history, part mythology. Lord Shiva, destroyer of worlds, extreme ascetic, the ultimate yogi. He is believed to have been the first yogic guru. The first historical record of yoga goes back about 5,000 years. Clay seals from the Harappan civilization depicting people seated in the trademark lotus posture were excavated. 2,000 years later, mantras, meditation and pranayam were practiced by sages. These learnings are found in the Rig Veda and Upanishads, a precursor to what we know as yoga today. It was only in 200 BC that the sage Patanjali codified these learnings into a cohesive philosophy. These were the Yoga Sutras. Over hundreds of years, gurus influenced by Patanjali formed their own schools of yoga, each with its own interpretation and ideology. But who was Patanjali? The answer lies in Banaras. This is among the oldest cities in the world. It is also one of India's holiest. Banaras or Varanasi lies by the banks of the Ganga in northern India. A spectacle of ancient Hindu belief, customs and tradition unfolds here each day. Yoga is an early start. Even law enforcement gets into the act. In Banaras, yoga has been a way of life for centuries, and Patanjali is revered.
आज पूरा विश्व योग के जनक, योग के प्रेरणा महर्षि पतंजलि जी के प्रेरित है और महर्षि पतंजलि जी काशी के रहने वाले थे। यही इनकी साधना थी। जैतपुरा के पास में एक नाग कुआं है, वहीं पे महर्षि पतंजलि और पाणिनि दोनों साधना किए थे। पहला ग्रंथ योग का कोई है महर्षि पतंजलि जी का पातंजलि योग सूत्र, उसी से योग निकला है। लोगों ने अपना नाम पृथक पृथक दे करके अपना कार्य चला रहे हैं, लेकिन योग महर्षि पतंजलि की देन है, वहीं से शुरुआत है। हम सब साधक वहीं से आए हैं।
Patanjali is known as the father of yoga. He was born in Banaras. Patanjali compiled 195 sutras, or a set of rules. These sutras serve as a framework for integrating yoga into the routine of daily life, giving modern yoga its form and direction. "800 kilometers away, another holy town by the Ganga, Haridwar. Here, maverick yoga guru and public figure Baba Ramdev keeps tradition alive at his Patanjali Yoga Center.
योग के दो बड़े पहलू हैं। एक इसका शारीरिक पहलू है, दूसरा इसका वैचारिक पहलू है। तो वैचारिक पहलू पर वेदों में बहुत विशद वर्णन है। योग की पूरी फिलॉसफी, उसका दार्शनिक, वैचारिक, आध्यात्मिक पक्ष, और उसके बाद महर्षि पतंजलि ने उसको इतना बड़ा विस्तार दिया, ऐसा लगता है कि महर्षि पतंजलि योग के आदि और अंतिम पुरुष हैं।
Patanjali may not have invented yoga, but he gave it its current form. While yoga flourishes, his life remains an enigma. Almost nothing is known about the man who codified yoga. Yoga is ever changing. While Patanjali's yoga continued to be part of Vedic life, new forms were also evolving. In the 4th century, Tantra and Hatha yoga broke with tradition. They celebrated the physical body, which they considered to be an embodiment of the divine. Modern-day gurus are adapting elements of Tantra and Hatha into their idea of yoga. At his yoga school in Delhi, Zubin Atre takes his students through various postures or asanas in a quest for harmony.
It's merely a technique where you put your mind together, where you put your breath together, where you put your body together, where you put your spirit together. And once all these things are together, then you don't need anybody else to tell you what to do and where to put it.
Over the centuries, the practice of yoga grew, but it was in the late 1800s, during the British Raj, that yoga experienced a turning point. Yoga gurus began to travel to the West. The mystic East now gained a new international audience, attracting new followers. One young man in particular sparked much interest. Born Narendranath Datta to an aristocratic Bengali family, Swami Vivekananda rose to become one of the most influential teachers of yoga and Hindu philosophy.
Vivekananda was a pioneer, bringing the wisdom tradition of India, of the Vedas, to America, and through America ultimately to the whole world. And yoga is one aspect of it.
Sisters and brothers of America, it fills my heart with joy unspeakable to rise in response.
1893, Chicago's Parliament of Religions. Swami Vivekananda accepts an opportunity to represent India and Hinduism at the conference.
And I thank you.
His remarkable speech received a standing ovation. The world's religious leaders were astonished. America was fascinated. And suddenly, yoga was on the world stage. Vivekananda toured the West for some years. He taught yoga and Hindu philosophy. and even set up a Vedanta society in New York. On his return to India, Swami Vivekananda founded the Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission in his native Bengal. Well over 100 years after his death, Swami Vivekananda remains an Indian icon. Millions still follow his teachings. Noted actor Suresh Oberoi is one of them.
The benefits of practicing Swami Vivekananda's yoga in my real life, in my practical life, is first thing is the stability of my mind. Second, my temper. I used to get angry for nothing. Third, the person to person, the way I treat a person now, because Swami Vivekananda said that he is also a part of you. When he believes in oneness, there's no East, West, or any different Hindu, Muslim, Christians, nothing. Swami Vivekananda believes in the power, the soul you are.
A 170 kilometers south of Chennai, on the southeastern coast of India, lies Puducherry, or Pondicherry as it was known. Until 1954, it was a French colony and still retains its old Gaelic charm. The town is also steeped in a strong spiritual and yogic tradition, since it was home to another exponent of yoga. Influenced by Swami Vivekananda, Sri Aurobindo, a nationalist and freedom fighter, turned to spiritualism in 1910. Fearing arrest by the British, he moved to Pondicherry, then under French rule. Here, he developed a practice of yoga that focused on meditation and spiritual awakening. It was called integral yoga.
When Sri Aurobindo came here, gradually people started coming. They were influenced by him. Some of them in the beginning thought of him as a great political leader, some of them as a great poet, some of them as a literary person. And gradually the sense of a spiritual master emerged.
Aurobindo's dream was to create an ashram that helped disciples transcend worldliness and experience unity with the divine. In 1920, he met his spiritual partner, Mira Alfassa, a French national, one of the first Western devotees to join him. On 24th November 1926, he retired into seclusion to continue his personal spiritual journey. Mira Alfassa, known by this time as the Mother, took full charge of the ashram.
The liberation of man from the boundaries of his own ignorance, from the limitations of his own personality, it should be possible for man to live at a deeper layer of his being. And that process he called yoga.
Under the Mother's guidance, the Sri Aurobindo ashram grew from about 24 disciples into a large, diversified community with almost 1,200 members today. Yoga remains central to the ashram's activities and beyond. Just 6 kilometers north of Puducherry is Auroville, a remarkable urban experiment, a realization of the Mother's vision. About 50,000 people from over 49 different nationalities live and work here. Founded in 1968, Auroville may seem at first glance like a sleepy retreat, but it's vibrant, cosmopolitan and modern. And for its community, Sri Aurobindo's teachings still provide spiritual direction. Aurelio is one of many who have made Auroville their home.
Auroville is not as concentrated as an ashram, it's an open field. There are families there, there are all life activities there, but still everything we're doing in the context of a yoga. What does it mean? We are connecting on an inner plane to the mystery, the search for meaning in life.
At Auroville, Karma Yoga, or service, is an essential aspect of the integral yoga practiced. Musician Veera Joshi moved to Auroville from Russia in 2005. Everyone here works for the common good of the community.
I would say that the key notion of Auroville is selfless service. Yeah? If you see the chapter, the first clause of Auroville Charter, it says you have to be the willing servitor of the divine consciousness. And this is the open road to the growth of consciousness. When you consecrate yourself to the service of the divine consciousness, you grow.
Cultural engagement and wellness are an important part of life at Auroville. And there are many kinds of yoga to choose from. Each has its own techniques and focus. Some more spiritual, some physical. It's not a one-size-fits-all.
Auroville is a place to practice Sri Aurobindo's yoga. So every Aurovillian is supposed to know this, and as far as I know, most Aurovillians deeply understand and try to practice in their daily life.
Through a spiritual life of faith, meditation, service and asanas, at Auroville, the final goal of integral yoga is to be one with the divine.
Auroville actually worked in a completely different way. It pulled me into life. It challenged me to take up all the activities necessary and see them as part of the yogic practice.
In 1927, shortly after the mother had joined Sri Aurobindo, Eugene Peterson arrived in India, a Russian dancer and stage actress. Eugene, under the stage name Indra Devi, became a rising star in Indian films. In 1930, she met Guru Krishnamacharya and became his student, a pioneer in the field of yoga. Indra Devi was the first Westerner to teach yoga asanas in India. In 1946, she traveled to Hollywood and set up the first yoga studio there. She attracted students among movie stars who found yoga's breathing and relaxation techniques useful to their work. Indra Devi developed a style of yoga adapted for the West, yoga postures, special breathing techniques and diets. Known to her followers as Mataji, over time stars began lining up outside her door. She was the first to bring Krishnamacharya's teachings to the West. The 60s were a time of change. Delusion with the Vietnam War created the peace movement. It was a time for new ideas, spiritual awakening, and freedom from cultural prejudice. During this period, many new gurus came to the United States in droves. Yoga found unlikely ambassadors in a rock and roll band that was making waves in the West. The Beatles had taken the world by storm, and they were quite taken by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, the founder of transcendental meditation. By the 1970s, more than 5 million people practiced his brand of yoga.
There was a mindset associated with the hippies. It was the music of the Beatles, it was yoga, it was the feminist movement, it was Greenpeace, it was the anti-Vietnam War movement, and therefore you said the beginning of the peace movement. So the 60s was the birth of what I feel is an ongoing process that has not ended yet.
Eager for new experiences, the flower power generation of the 60s embraced Eastern philosophies. Yoga's popularity was rising. There were only a handful of yoga schools in America then. There are thousands now. But the idea of yoga was often more attractive to the West than the true discipline and practice of it. India began to attract all sorts. Some came looking for salvation, others for their own distorted version of spirituality. They came to experience the new and exotic.
What drove them to India in hordes was this belief that this is a magical land. This is the mother of all civilizations. And it has in its bylanes, in the crevices of India, there may be existing some wise man who will provide them with that recipe, which will give them what they have been searching for, is eternal bliss and permanent happiness.
Mumbai, maximum city, tinsel town, dream factory. For so many, looking good is vital. That makes fitness big business. Yoga has moved from the gurukuls to the cool gurus. It's fashionable and a lifestyle statement. Mumbai-based yoga expert Payal Gidwani can take credit for the toned physiques of several Bollywood celebrities.
These Bollywood stars have really made it very trendy. And knowing, the layman will follow the stars. They are big celebrities. And if they endorse something, people think it is very good.
Size 0 is out. Being in shape is in. Filmdom's new pin-up boys and girls want healthy lifestyles. Famous fitness fanatics like Shilpa Shetty are stretching on yoga mats. The new yoga mantra is finding new converts. For some movie stars, there was never any doubt.
In the film fraternity, if there's anything which makes you look good, feel fit, feel fresh, I think it's going to catch on. So that's one of the reasons I think must have caught on with the film fraternity, yeah.
Yoga studios catering to the stars are now big business, with new yoga styles becoming the mainstream.
I've trained a few Bollywood actors, quite a few very successful actors. Like with all successful people, I have a lot of respect for Bollywood actors and actresses because I've seen how hard they work. It looks very happy and easy on the outside, but it's a very complex and a very hard-working lifestyle.
With Bollywood endorsing it, yoga has become young and hip, attracting many more followers.
आपका मन मंदिर आपका एक व्हीकल है, वो अगर सज्ज नहीं रखोगे तो आप अपनी इच्छाएं भी पूरी नहीं कर सकते।
The ancient Indian practice of keeping mind and body fit is going places. According to some estimates, more than 20 million Americans over the age of 18 practiced yoga in 2014. It is arguably the most widespread and influential Indian discipline in the world, and it's kept pace with the times. Modern yoga owes much to the Vedic scholar, Ayurvedic healer, and yoga teacher, Guru Krishnamacharya. He transformed Hatha, once an obscure branch of yoga, into its current popular form, with emphasis on specific poses. Krishnamacharya, under the patronage of the Maharaja of Mysore, trained many students. Several formed their own schools of yoga, based on his teachings and body of work. Of them, BKS Iyengar is one of the best known. Pune, cultural capital of Maharashtra, home to the Iyengar Institute. From humble beginnings as a little-known yoga teacher, BKS Iyengar rose to be a guru of international repute. With his fame, yoga's appeal in the West grew. He won millions of followers. Iyengar described yoga as art and science. The objective, a spiritual awareness achieved through the alignment of body and mind. Despite his celebrity following, Iyengar also made yoga more accessible. It was no longer just for the elite.
He could cater the common man, needs of common man, who were not disposed to yoga and philosophy of life and philosophy of conduct of life and spiritual base of life. So he catered yoga for them, for their well-being, health.
At the Pune Iyengar School, Prashant Iyengar carries on his father's legacy. After a scooter accident left him with a dislocated spine, Iyengar pioneered the use of props in yoga. This became a defining feature of Iyengar yoga. Ropes, blocks, benches and other equipment made it easier for students to achieve perfect postures, despite injuries or disability.
The correct method of going into a forward bend is with a concave back. But when people go with a problem, they go with a convex back. So that aggravates the problem. So then Guruji designed props, he designed ropes, he designed stools so that there is an extension. So then the person found relief. So person by person, condition by condition, the props came into existence.
Great yoga teachers like Krishnamacharya and Iyengar stood out for their inventiveness. In its various avatars, yoga continues to gain from innovation. Sri K. Pattabhi Joyce, a contemporary of Iyengar, introduced the world to a gymnastic style of yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. It is one of the most physically demanding yoga practices, and modern-day gurus are adapting it. For New Age Guru Bharat Thakur, yoga provides practical fitness solutions for modern lifestyles. His artistic yoga is a fusion of Ashtanga techniques and various elements of yoga that provide strength training, balance and cardiovascular endurance. It also borrows from Western ideas of fitness.
I know yoga. I had to get out of the clutter and say that this is a full science which I'm giving you. In my classes, you can get asana, pranayam, kriya, bandh, mudra, meditation. We have beginners program, we have basic program, we have advanced level practitioners. Simple way to know that what is a grass and a tree is very simple. Are you progressing? As a human being, do you see a qualitative difference in your lifestyle?
Unlike traditional schools of yoga, where the same asanas are repeated daily, artistic yoga classes are unique. At his yoga centers in India and abroad, he focuses on only 2 body parts at a time. The idea is to work on different muscle groups every day.
10 degree of roll, very nice. 1, 2. Strength, endurance, flexibility, balance and agility. Now these 5 elements, if is not there in a fitness regime, then you are not practicing yoga. And it is not giving you the result. You are just doing one part of fitness, that is flexibility. So you are fat, but you are flexible. But you will go through a heart attack because your amount of fat in your body, bad cholesterol is still high. So depending upon the day, so that if in a week someone practices 5 days, all 5 aspects of fitness is done.
In every class, students are trained on the physical aspects of flexibility, vigor and stamina, while the spiritual side is developed through meditation. Artistic yoga today is a global enterprise with A-list clients, over 200 centers and thousands of students worldwide. Haridwar, 4:30 a.m. A hall as large as an aircraft hangar. Thousands of people waiting in eager anticipation. Suddenly, a cheer goes up. This is Ram Krishna Yadav, better known as Baba Ramdev. His critics may be numerous, but his popularity is undoubted.
छत्रसाल स्टेडियम में जो पहला कार्यक्रम हुआ था आज से 15 साल पहले, उसमें 10,000 लोग आए थे। उसके बाद 25,000, 50,000, 1-1 लाख, 5-5 लाख लोग मेरे कैंप्स में आने लगे। 20 साल पहले मैंने यात्रा शुरू की थी, 5 साल में वो ऊपर चढ़ी और इसलिए 2 दशकों में इस तरह से योग फैला कि मासेज में योग होने लगा, क्लासेस से बाहर निकला।
Baba Ramdev represents a new generation of lifestyle superstars. Yoga's growing appeal has elevated him to cult status. the yoga guru of the great Indian middle class, is now also a political figure. Named after sage Patanjali, the father of yoga, Ramdev's Patanjali Yog Peeth is a sprawling township. Millions flock to it every year, looking for good health. Like many of yoga's prominent practitioners, Baba Ramdev is an innovator. His popular poses are simple to follow and easy to fit into busy lives. A supple, flexible body is not necessary to practice the Ramdev brand of yoga.
एक तो मैंने कठिन क्रियाएं नहीं करवाई। मान लीजिए मैं शीर्षासन ही करवाऊं, मयूरासन करवाऊं, कोई भी कठिन आसन में करवाऊंगा तो लोगों को प्रैक्टिस करने में 3 से 6 महीने का समय लग जाएगा। मैं तो कहता था अभी करो अभी पाओ, इंस्टेंट बेनिफिट योग के मैंने बताए। और पहले ही दिन से व्यक्ति योग की क्रिया कर सकता है, एक क्षण में योग सीख सकता है। ये हुआ।
Ramdev believes that life is not for doing yoga. Rather, yoga is for making life better. It's an idea in tune with the 21st century.
पूरी दुनिया में 2 ही डिमांड है, एक प्रॉस्पेरिटी, दूसरा स्पिरिचुअलिटी। माने एक तरफ समृद्धि, दूसरी तरफ शांति। तो योग से दोनों काम होंगे।
आसन ये अल्टीमेट योगा नहीं है। पूर्णता की ओर जाने के लिए एक छोटा सा सेतु है। खुद में खोने का एक अवसर देता है योग।
India's Silicon Valley is also home to another major exponent of yoga in India. At the Art of Living ashram, an hour's drive out of the city, students sit in silence, practicing Sudarshan Kriya.
Hands on your knees, palms open to the sky.
This is a breathing technique developed by Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. The soft-spoken guru believes in yoga being the path to global harmony.
In the early 80s and 90s, when there was so much prejudice about yoga, I started calling the art of living, which had a little bit of yoga exercise, breathing, meditation, everything. That name was more acceptable for people.
The focus is on breathing techniques that calm the mind and improve self-confidence.
Slowly bring your hands down.
We have retained the basics, but we have given a presentation, we have done it very different manner. And there are certain new things also we have adopted. So I always believe in the combination of ancient and modern.
The main philosophy behind the art of living is building a peaceful world by reducing stress and anxiety. An overworked generation took to it immediately. Yoga seems to be the solution for all that ails modern life. But is it the new miracle drug? In 1997, after a near-fatal accident, doctors told Deepika Mehta that she would never walk again. Not one to give up, she looked for alternative therapies.
I started yoga in 2002 because I had a very bad rock climbing accident. I fell from 40 feet. I was told I might not walk ever again, and I really feel like yoga saved my life, which is why I'm so passionate about teaching this practice, and I'm so passionate about this way of living.
Today, Deepika teaches yoga to help others make a difference to their lives. The popularity of yoga has led to a growing scientific interest in the field. One of the foremost cardiologists in the country, Dr. Naresh Trehan, swears by the virtues of yoga.
Is this the only exercise which actually exercises your internal organs? So whether it's your thyroid, whether it's your pituitary, whether it's your liver, pancreas, kidneys, intestines, all of them actually with different asanas actually can be exercise.
At the Medanta Hospital in Gurgaon, he encourages patients to make yoga an integral part of their daily lives.
I know the virtues of yoga, how it actually is one of the only things you do which does so many things for your body, for not only for the moment but for long term.
Nivedita Joshi, at 15 years of age, was stricken by debilitating slip disc cervical spondylosis. She suffered chronic pain and had been in a wheelchair for close to 12 years. An accidental meeting with BKS Iyengar changed everything. Yoga helped her to reclaim her life.
His improvisation of the props gave me the courage and hope that I can do it, because I remember 12th day of my working with him. He asked me to stand on my palms. And by the time I could have understood something or the other, he had made me to do that. When I did the first time after 12 long years, the 12th day of my practice with him, I got my confidence back. I suddenly realized, oh God, my limbs can work.
Having learned from the master himself for 18 years, Nivedita now runs a state-of-the-art Iyengar Yoga Center called Yoga Kshim in New Delhi. Yoga being used as a preventative as well as a curative practice to treat ailments is central to the Iyengar style. This is on display at the Iyengar Center in Pune. For some, yoga is a means to physical health, while others practice it in the hope of achieving spiritual salvation. "250 kilometers north of Delhi, the town of Rishikesh lies at the foothills of the great Himalayas. Sages have been drawn to it for centuries. It is also an important center for yoga. One of the greatest yoga masters of the 20th century, Swami Sivanand, founded the Divine Life Society in 1936. His philosophy focuses on the means to attain spiritual salvation by worship of the divine, meditation, serving society, and yoga asanas. Swami Atmanand came from Canada 40 years ago and became fascinated enough with Swami Sivanand's teachings to spend his life at the ashram.
Serve, love, meditate, realize, the four yogas, you see. And so this is the pathway to this. But actually, his best known aphorism is be good and do good.
At their Delhi center, students are taking part in a yoga and meditation session. Today, there are close to 60 Sivananda ashrams and centers like this one all around the world. A disciple of Swami Sivanand founded one of the first formal schools imparting education in yoga. In 1964, Swami Satyanand Saraswati laid the foundation of the Bihar School of Yoga.
Basic principles of serve, love and give. These are the principles which are practiced over here in Rikhia in various forms.
The school teaches how to live a full yogic lifestyle. The techniques taught here are a combination of Vedanta and yoga. Though Satyananda Yoga incorporates traditional postures, breathing and meditation, asanas are rarely practiced. Instead, the emphasis is on work for the common good, or karma yoga and meditation. The Bihar School of Yoga stresses on a holistic approach. The focus is on molding the mind and the body in an ancient Gurukul-like setting. Yoga, the ancient Indian practice and philosophy, has many modern avatars. At home and abroad, it has evolved from being a purely spiritual, intensely personal endeavor and entered the mainstream. Everyone, from busy professionals to celebrities, are unrolling their yoga mats in the search for inner peace and flexible hamstring. Today's gurus are trendy and urbane, blending ancient wisdom and modern techniques, a fusion that is attracting hordes of new followers.
There is no city in the United States where I can't find a yoga studio. In fact, it's easier to find a yoga studio than an Indian restaurant.
Although familiar styles like Ashtanga, Hatha and Iyengar yoga are constantly evolving, urban yogis around the globe are yearning for something fresh and different.
There's a change in lifestyle, people want to move fast. Traditional yoga is very slow, very relaxed, but people don't want that kind of things happening. So the new trends that have come into the market are very happening.
Many modern gurus are tapping a new market as people look to stretch their body and psyche.
Yoga is a part of the feel-good industry. Man is looking for this great experience, this moment, and after a good yoga class, what does a man or a woman come out with and say, that was lovely.
There is a style of yoga to suit every lifestyle need. One steamy new trend is called hot yoga, and with good reason. An hour or two of working up a sweat in a heated room relaxes the muscles, increases flexibility, and prevents injury. Another trend that's gaining popularity is acro yoga, a style that combines acrobatics and yoga. It enhances familiar yoga poses with deeper stretches, using the effect of gravity on body weight. Another hybrid form of Iyengar yoga, pole yoga, focuses on teaching yoga asanas with support to hold steady. The pole allows students to enter deeper, challenging poses with more ease and less fear. Aerial yoga or anti-gravity yoga involves performing a series of asanas in a hammock-like apparatus for a full body workout. This is known to improve flexibility, core strength, and body alignment. New trends continue to evolve, but are they successful in bringing new followers into the fold?
I feel whatever it is that is getting the young people to start practicing is good. Whether it's Bikram yoga or it's, like I said, power yoga or this yoga or that yoga, eventually they will be gravitated towards learning more traditional styles and going deeper.
A few gurus, though, don't consider these new trends to be yoga.
They are using the physical. It is basically for the mind, by the mind, of the mind. Now the mind exists in the body, so you have to use the body as an instrument. But you cannot use the body as the main wheel of that.
Whatever the purists believe, new yoga trends are here to stay. The styles might change, but the core ideology of yoga remains the same.
Yoga right now has a very bright future because it's unstoppable. The trend is unstoppable.
As of now, the future of yoga is coming up. Adapted by the West, we are getting it back.
It's caught on with the youth, which is great. So anything which catches on with the youth is always there's obviously it has a great future. Yeah.
I see yoga will be the language of the next generation, next century.
I think yoga would have a long shelf life because the yearning in man to keep himself going forever will not wither with the passage of time.
A 5,000-year-old tradition, constantly evolving, reinventing itself to suit the times. A philosophy that's inherently Indian continues to capture the world's imagination.
भारत की अनमोल विरासत आज विश्व की अनमोल विरासत बनी है।